It's time for the 30th episode of Smashcenter and the finale of these mini side tables, round tables, two-person tables, whatever you want to call it. Coney is right here in the back in a second, not behind me, he's in another window, you know what I mean. But if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to Smashcenter, provided by PG Stats, your host Suar from Panda Global. And yeah, if you haven't been paying attention today, we have now revealed the entirety of the PGRU Top 50. Top 10 was today, 20 through, or sorry, the past 20 and everything else that was happening was last Tuesday, last Friday, last Wednesday, all of that. So, without further ado, if this is your first time watching, we have a Q&A at the end. If you have questions throughout the chat that you're volleying at us because you want to find out what it is that you want to find out, we're not going to be able to see it. So just hold until the end, tag us. There will be a time where we just shotgun through questions. We've been doing it the entire week along with last week. It's been a good time. People are really curious about things. We have plenty of answers, and if we don't, we try our best. So, final thing, if you're watching on Twitch, welcome to the chat. How you doing? Hope it's a great evening for you. We got Evo starting up tomorrow, and if you're hearing us on YouTube, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can stay tuned to the latest in PGRU news, coverage, controversies, and more. So, let's go ahead and bring Coney in. He comes to us from a very interesting place. He comes to us from somewhere that... It's gonna look so funny. Anyways, right here, we're gonna go ahead and bring him in. The host with the most. He's at Evo this weekend, and he's gonna bring it all. He's gonna bring the gold. Coney, how's it going, man?
Hi, everybody. I am live from the PG Suite potty room. There was nowhere else to film. They're using the suite to do media stuff, and I needed a quiet spot for about an hour, and they said, go to the bathroom. So this is esports. Here I am.
This is the mixer setup.
I'm very sorry about the mic. This is the best we could do. I will not yell. I will keep it very quiet. I am not sitting on the toilet. The toilet is right there. You guys, the laptop is hanging out on a bidet right now because this is a very fancy suite. So anyway, welcome to the show. Sorry.
Bidet boys, dude. All right, so Coney's sticking.
It had to be like this.
It had to be like this. Coney, of course, as many of you may know already, if you saw the announcements, he is at Evo, actually at Mandalay Bay. Prepping up, or the hotel next to it, whatever, prepping with everybody else. He was this weekend, he's commentating it. So, and staying consistent with the schedule, which Coney and I have now hit upwards of 8 hours of recorded roundtable footage. Now this will add on to it. He's meeting his obligations and making sure it lives on for today's final top 10. So before we start, Coney, any initial thoughts? You want to preface this top 10 with the first top 10 in history for Smash Ultimate?
I'm going to be totally honest. So I haven't had a chance to look over their cards on the YouTube. So usually what I'll do is I'll look at their wins, losses, all that stuff. For this one, I was mostly, I read 10. No huge surprises on it. We can talk about people individually. But I feel like my input might be pretty brief here, just because, like I said, I haven't been able to fully go over every player on the top 10. But I think for a lot of people it was pretty, I don't want to say expected, but I think that a lot of the names that we thought would be up there are obviously up there. And there was one thing that I know a lot of people were talking about that we can talk about. It's basically at the end of the countdown. So we'll get to that when we come to it.
Okay, cool. So, I'm not going to put too much pressure since you're, of course, watching from the bathroom with
I'm in the media center, yeah.
You don't got the triple monitor setup. You don't got the Coney command station. You got the Coney John station. You're in the John.
Sorry.
That's all good. So, how we've styled these roundtables, everybody, is, just the typical. We're going to go ahead and watch, react. The video has been out now for a few hours. So, came out at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 11 in Cali. In Japan, probably whatever that is, the opposite. People are reacting all over online. We're going to bring those reactions to the light. as well, if we caught any. I know some people already tweeted about it. I know like at least the people at the tippy top. As well as some other stuff that were all within the top 10, such as like tournaments people forgot about, key sets, and even some memories. So let's go ahead and get it started. We got the top 10 now loaded up on YouTube. We're going to watch with Coney, with myself. In the chat, provide any sort of feedback you want. We might catch on it, we might not. But again, questions at the end. So number 10, always a sweet spot because it's the beginning, right? The beginning of the almost end. Light takes it for New England. Light takes it for Rogue. Light takes it as the only Fox. Oh, man. Dude, who can imagine this like in December? Would you have called this that only Light would be making it, let alone top 10?
Absolutely not. I mean, well, is he even in Area 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought Fox was for sure going to be... It's so funny because I remember when people were playing the demo, people were like, oh, Fox is... And then the game came out and it was like, oh, Fox is nice. And now you look at it and it's like, okay, Fox isn't that great. So we don't know what to think. But yeah, Light getting 10th despite a really strong start and a very... just petering out at the end, something fierce. So, but I good on him for still getting top 10 despite all that. I feel like the Genesis run is really what sort of clinched it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, on top with Frostbite. For anyone who hasn't watched already, we'll show the breakdown here in a second. This season is going to be the last time we're going to show this because this season's finally being put to bed. The entire tournaments the entire list of tournaments that we had for everybody to look at, during the season, now that the season's over, is available on our tournament tier system. Sorting it by value, you see the S tiers here, A tiers, whatever. All I'm going to say right now, because you should already have done the required reading, Genesis is the highest rated S tier of the season, Frostbite is the least rated, CEO is the highest rated A tier, and then you got Umabora SV3 as the lowest. You got your B tiers and your C tiers, which there were 60 plus of. And so when we're talking about these tournaments, keep that in mind. A lot of people thought, oh no, like they got 33rd at this, and like this major they got second. Well, if it was second at Frostbite, that didn't count as much as like second as MomoCon, proportionate to the people who went, proportionate to the standards we had this first season, which was purely entrant count. So for Light's case, 5th at Genesis, which was the biggest one, of course, is going to be a huge boon. 3rd at a Prime Saga is nice. And of course, you had those 17s at the end, which for many people, I think that also affects the X Factor. His X Factor is going to show here in a moment, but highlighting some of his key wins, I mean, Light had the season for Fox. Many of the people doubted Fox as Larry started to not really occur anything with him at first. Obviously, they took out the Untechable. They took out a lot of things that Fox's kind of relied on in Smash 4. I mean, I saw Fair Footstool. A lot of people slip out of that from time to time when that was a staple that you needed in Smash 4. Geez, Fair Footstool took so many lives. So a lot of things changed. But for Light, amazing time. I think most notably the fact that he was able to get a couple from Dabuz, the likes of, let's see, who do we have here? Nairo, and even taking one from Leo. That was insane. And his win rate sits there pretty. People put him at 8th. Again, X Factor, haven't watched before, tells you how high people think he should be according to their own subjective opinion. There's a panel that rated all these people on a scale of 1 to 10. For Light's case, they ended 8th in their minds. In case of the data here, though, he was only 10th. So I think people probably credit that a lot to the fact that Light has that clutch factor and he really pops off on stream. He does great on the main stage.
Sorry, I think Cosmos is singing a whole behind me.
Oh, is it his morning song?
Okay, now a woman is singing. Seriously, they're singing. Okay, sorry. There's something happening in the... Sorry. Yeah, so Light having a positive kind of surprised me, considering, I was talking about the way that his season sort of ended, but I feel like people, still hold him in super high regard. In terms of wins and losses, I haven't had a chance to look at that, but honestly, I feel like so many of the top 10 dropped so many sets to other people in the top 10. You know what I mean?
It wasn't as a pyramid as it usually tends to be.
Exactly. In the past, it was obviously 0 at first, and then Nairo second, and there was going to really dispute any of that. So, so super good on Light. Again, even considering the week ending to the season, getting top 10 is absolutely huge. I think based on the trajectory of how he's going now, expect to see him in the top 10 next season, but I don't know.
He's a little lukewarm, I think, from the perspective of a lot of people. Light, always popping off, hitting off, getting every possible confirm into up smash. I think now that the season kind of like slowed down a little bit, now that Joker's on the rise, now that there's different matchups that are potentially being looked at, and now even a hero. I mean, who knows? But for Light, I think that very, very solid floor considering his beginning, and especially as like the only person to do it with Fox. Nobody else has done it with Fox, and he didn't even bring up a secondary. So whereas some other people, like, you know, Larry was supplementing with Falco and Wolf, and even then that wasn't enough for him, sadly. Light did it all with Fox, so congrats to him.
Yeah, very impressive. Not switching over to anybody else, not even going like, you know, Larry was off. ZD switched over to those guys too, but Light just kind of holding the line on Fox, trying to make it work, so good for him.
Yeah. Speaking about someone else who didn't switch over much until maybe the midpoint on, we have Void at ninth. The only person, I believe, according to his reaction, according to his tweets, the only person from SoCal on the entire top 50, which is quite the story, considering the fact that we ended and had most of Smash 4 defined by everyone in and around the 2GG sphere. I mean, we had Larry, we had Void, we had Elegant, right? We had Fallen. You know, none of those people showing up right now. A lot of those people going through different character changes, different life paths, etc. But Void didn't, and he made top 10 first season. Surprise? Not? What do you think?
Again, his story is sort of like Light's in that his trajectory has totally fallen off. It wasn't a part of his ranking, obviously. Thunder Smash, he got dead last. I think he only won one game.
One game, not even one set.
Not even one set. And the game that he won was like, I don't want to call it a fluke, but he just got like, he had a really strong comeback on his last stock and got like a crazy hit. So he's falling off considerably, but of course that second to Genesis is going to carry you. That second to Genesis is going to carry you so far. I mean, it had the most weight of any tournament this season, so it totally makes sense. And I feel like of all the characters, or of all the players that have had their character touched, Void has suffered from it the most, like no question. So I know he's trying different characters, trying to work something out, but he's got a rough path ahead of him, I think.
Yeah, Void, I'm not too worried about, considering how much he labs, both publicly and privately. He did it with Sheik, he's done it with Mewtwo, he's done it with Fox in the previous game. In this title, we did see a little bit of a Wolf, like you saw here at Genesis, and, you know, we didn't see too much of that Wolf being pursued after the fact, so, again, more hope in Pichu. Then, of course, the first round of nerfs affected the size of Pichu, affected some of the damage properties of Pichu. At first, when Pichu came out, I mean, it was a meme, right? Like, he was a meme in Melee, and now in Ultimate, it was kind of like, oh, Pichu's back. But, I mean, Void did it all. Dabuz, Light, Nairo, Shuton, and even a Zachary win as well. I mean, all impressive with Pichu. A lot of the confirms that he has, he still does, although they link a little differently. And now, like, I think a lot of people are taking from what little experience they might have gotten from ESAM, since he's the only Pikachu to really do it, aside from Captain L, of course, in the lower part of the PGR. Same thing as the last game. Maybe people have like a lot of experience now coming into play, right? And actually working out for them. In Void's case, we'll see how that turns out. I don't want to maybe assign too much to the Thunder Smash Invitational. I mean, did you get a chance to talk to him? Was it sandbagging? Was it not motivated? Like, did you catch a whiff of what it was?
No, it really wasn't anything like that. He said that when the average level of competition is that high, it's very easy to beat. Like, somebody's got to be the loser. You know, you got to consider him getting last at that would be getting, like, you know, 9th or 13th at something really big. You know, so it's like losing to those people is not any mark of shame.
That's a good point.
But I do think, I do think that it's sort of indicative of he's having a tougher time hanging with even, Isim's number 16 on the PGR. I think he might have beat him in a set. It was either a game or a set, I'm not sure, but he was struggling regardless and against all those people there. So he's still super good. I think we're all, excited to see where he goes from here, but top 10 again, I'm not sure unless he figures something out,
Yeah, strong start. Definitely had a lot of fundamentals to sort of not carry him, but define his early season. I think, his competitive mindset's always been one of the healthiest ones. He definitely chooses health over play sometimes. Not play, but he has dropped out of tournaments before, focusing on himself. He has let go, or not let go, but kind of just not participated in tournaments that wanted him to, or wanted him to come back to different events. He's taken his time. And so, he's also a player of many other games. And so that also helps refresh a little bit of the Smash stamina. But I do know for a fact that, Light had mentioned, talk about an off season earlier, in some of the tweets we talked about, and Void kind of told him you kind of have to make your own breaks. And very famously / infamously, we, PG Stats, tried to make an off-season in Smash 4 at the early end of one year, where it kind of coincided with Christmas, was right before Genesis. A lot of players liked it. There was a PAX Invitational that did not necessarily, since it didn't get ranked, a lot of people that got their wins there, etc., didn't count, but other people seemed to enjoy it. But there's never a good time to stop Smash because events are always happening. But like Void said, you make your own breaks right now. So, hopefully he's at the end of one and he comes into Season 2 charged. At EVO, I mean, he could seriously pop off. Maybe he has something cooking with another character. But for right now, Pichu is leading the chart for him. So congrats to Void for 9th. CLG SoCal, lone soldier out there. So maybe he's got some other boys joining him Season 2.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So congrats to Void. From Sheik to Pichu, no signs of Sheik really coming back that I could tell. Even the last patch that just came out, 4.00, had no news for her of notable sorts, but that's how it is. So 8th place now, top 10 all time. Right now, Nairo, NRG.
Yep. I mean, no question about this. Nairo, consistently amazing. And I don't think that's based on his placing. But we didn't expect him to place to get 8th. Does that make sense? It's not like he didn't earn 8th. It's that everybody would expect him to be in the top 5. I think, especially based on his legacy of Smash 4. So yeah, Nairo at 8th, still playing Palutena, which I think a lot of people expected to be a Band-Aid, that he would change it eventually, but it hasn't happened yet. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Doesn't seem like the Dark Pit or Robin of Smash 4. Nairo famously coming from Brawl with Meta Knight on deck, did not transfer that into Smash 4, at least not primarily. He was juggling Dark Pit at first, then Robin, eventually landing on Zero Suit. But right now we see, there at the bottom we have Lucina. He has flashed a little bit of his skill with Zero Suit, and even a Ganon here and there, which is a super polarizing character, obviously.
Sure.
But I think what for a lot of people kind of fell apart early on from their perception of Nairo, at least from my perspective, is the fact that when someone's going through a character crisis, they're going through exactly that, a crisis. So I think a lot of people assign a level of struggle and a level of dismissal towards the results. But when you see here, I mean, 17th at Genesis, right outside top 16, which again, going through Palutena so early in the game definitely hurts. Same thing with Smash and Splash, which was the last S tier we had. But we saw some shining at Momocon, at Get On My Level, and even at Pound, and obviously Prime Saga. He won Suplex City, and at Collision he got second, which, again, Collision was that pseudo C tournament. It was that Shots Fired 2, where essentially, everybody was there, and it's, pretty much what helped Frozen, in his case, Frozen getting third there. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Nairo, I think for a lot of people, he has that fan base, obviously, and he has that target on his back. So a lot of people jump to call him washed whenever they can. I saw it in Smash 4. I'm seeing it again. But he's always stayed consistent. I'm glad that he hasn't necessarily let it get to the point where it affects his gameplay. I mean, Nairo consistently streaming and consistently making this content, but then also competing, only having scheduled time to go 2 times outside to out of region events. I mean, that's a hard lifestyle to keep up, and he did it and got 8th the first PGR. So the panel put him at 7th, which for many people that's again really respectable for him first season.
Yeah, I think it's aspirational. I don't know. This is going to sound dismissive considering their Smash 4, rivalry, but kind of like a mini Zero right now, in that, you've got the gameplay and you have, being top 10 in the world, but you have all this other stuff. I think his competitor heart still wants to be higher. I think he's got to be feeling pretty satisfied and satiated by, top 10 and all this other stuff that he's doing. So I don't know if he'll necessarily, I could be totally wrong about this. I don't know him well enough. I don't know if he'll have the drive to continue to improve, and I wonder if, sticking on the Palutena is part of that, because, Palutena is... Palutena doesn't require the same level of work, I think, as a lot of other characters. Not to say that she's easy, but to say that, she's pretty fundamental, and I think that's going to be able to carry him because he has amazing fundamentals and has played for a while. But I think it's an easy choice for somebody who wants to sort of put their time in other areas for one reason or another, and I think as long as he's juggling different balls, it's going to be hard for him to progress as a player. So I'm kind of just spitballing here. It could go either way.
Well, I've never seen Nairo accept anything at face value, that's for sure. I mean, he is consistently one of the biggest voices when it comes to, talking about events, not being transparent or not being forthcoming with details. I mean, almost like akin to a Leffen Genesis Penguin situation, but not that crazy.
Sure.
Which, shout outs to players wanting more or the most from their events. He's also, gone on record, questioning and criticizing and asking more clarity about the PGR and stuff. He clearly really cares. And I don't think that he accepts 8th. I haven't seen a reaction from Nairo on Twitter yet. Also, time zone difference. He's probably locked in a room right now practicing at Evo. But I don't think that Nairo because we're talking about a legacy here where he was ranked 2nd all time. And 2nd all time in Smash 4 through 4.5 years. He did the whole story arc, beating Zero at MLG, blah, 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 blah. He has never not been in that conversation, talking about the best players in the world without being in that first sentence, let alone the first 5 names. He never dipped, I don't believe, below 4th, maybe even 3rd in Smash 4. I know Dabuz was the first one to leave the top 5 pretty early on from the consistent 0 Nairo Dabuz, 0 Nairo Dabuz. 8th, I think, is more of a telling factor of someone who's developing their footing into Ultimate. I know that many people, it clicked, right? For many people, Ultimate was just the game. Other people, Ultimate is still shaping up to be the game, and one season after another, some people might have already peaked. Samsora has a really tough act to follow, not to get on his case or anything, but he's one of the people that it really clicked. Same thing with Mars.
Sure.
Whereas in the prior game, they were top 15, top 20, almost top 10 players in terms of ranking. So Nairo, I think, if anything, this might have lit a fire under him, and we might see a character switch. I don't think Banjo, I doubt Hero, 4th and 5th character, I don't know. I haven't seen him play around with Joker, but that's the only other thing possibly, because I think he explored everything with Zero Suit, and there has to be a reason he's not using him, and it probably stings a lot that Mars is seeing results with the character that he by and large didn't, He has played Zero Suit in bracket, but he hasn't elected to choose her primarily. There must be a reason for that, which he only knows, and I stopped or rarely question what top players choose, because you're not there. We've all been there when we make character switches. So Energy Nairo takes it 8th. Tri-State once again. Tri-State is looking fantastic this next season. I wouldn't be surprised if Tri-State bias becomes the meme, to be honest.
Yeah. So I think we're going from one to another. Is the next one also Tri-State?
No, 7th place is oh, whoa, you're right. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't consider him for a second. Yeah, so 7th place, Tri-State combo now. We went from what? New England to SoCal to Tri-State again to Dabuz. So another interesting case. A lot of people here kind of met him through, like, again, the lens of like Mr. Consistent, like the wall. It becomes almost like a thing that he can't even get rid of, even if he's not playing conservatively. But wow, this scorecard. First season, started out a little bit with Palutena, brought out Rosalina a little bit, won the Smash Ultimate Summit, which of course did not count. So, oh no, wait, he didn't win that. That was Leo. But he did get a couple of results there. Invitationals first season, under a trial not counting. This next season, of course, it does. But here, 4th at Genesis was a huge statement when the game first came out. 5th at Smash and Splash, again, incredible, ending the season as well, keeping in everyone's minds that he is consistent. And even Albion, the very last event, he got 2nd. Finally dropping a set to Glutoni, which such a heartbreaker for Dabuz, but also like such a story maker for Glutoni.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's surprised by this at all at 7th?
Surprised he's not really in the top 5. I mean, when you look at the data, makes sense. I'm sure that he's very frustrated by his rank. He's already said that, like, I'm never going to be good at this game, which is hilarious.
But, you know, I mean, at their level, it's like, their good is our godlike. But there's being...
I hear it. I get it.
They're saying things and, you know, realizing other people are also just, like, dying to be there.
Yeah. No, I mean, good for Dabuz sticking through the Olimar nerf, too, whereas maybe his contemporaries have not been faring so well. Yeah, just really impressive. I mean, like, it's really him really transitioned into a new game, has a few characters, too, plays Palutena at a high level also, and can still pull out the Rosalina from time to time, so... I don't really know if there's much to say about Dabuz here.
He's stuck to Olimar, right? He's stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
+3 X Factor puts him at 4th, so I think that's where a lot of the contention lies. But
that's kind of how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it is told in the wins though. So if we start looking at the wins, Cosmos 11, sharing sets with him. Glutoni, he finally dropped a set. Him being top 15, of course. 3 sets on him. Light, top 10. MVD, top 20. Nairo, top 10. Raito, top 20. Samsora, top 10. So these are high quality wins. Dabuz pretty much got it where it all mattered. But if you notice, absent here are names like MkLeo or even Mars. And I think on the next card... Okay, yeah, so there you go. Finally, you get the Mars. He did get 2 sets on him, but not MkLeo. And then, you know, we didn't see any sets on Shuton, so it's kind of like, you know, he got everybody on the dot for 6 through 10 essentially, but the 1 through 5 is where it kind of like teetered off a little bit. And then he also dropped like a couple key sets, like to Shoyo James, for example. So now we're talking about someone that, you know, is in the lower teens, but still. And then Salem, who's like in the early 20s. But Salem is such a hard person to figure out because at the same time, he's like always a threat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But look at that set count, 25 to 25. I mean, that could not be more Dabuz if you think about it.
Yeah. I think Dabuz, that's kind of how he operates. I don't want to call him like the gatekeeper, you know, like we've used that term, but I think people below him 90% of the time and then lose to the people above him a lot. At least right now, that's what it's looking like. But he's been dropping more and more sets to people sort of outside his station. Like, even if it's somebody like Salem, who's, you know, super talented, but he's not top. You know, what? Salem is, what, 21?
21 or 22. 20s. Early 20s.
Yeah, 9 plus 10, yeah. So he's, like, super good, but it's still, like, it shouldn't... If you're 7th, you know, losing to that is, you sure don't want that. So, yeah, good stuff to Dabuz. Not really what else to say about him. I mean, like, feels a certain type of way about this, and he's disappointed, but it's...
I say feel it out, you know. Yeah, I'd say feel it out, but, like, again, this is, like, an entire season, you know, catching up to you. And I think for Dabuz's case, like, if I were to talk to him right now, I'd be like, you know, this is... your report card. It's like you did the whole first semester party, second semester, you know, like all that, And Dabuz is incredibly diligent. We know that. That's part of his whole branding thing. I mean, he even walked out on a CEO entrance a couple years back with a laptop. He takes the notes, he studies. That's definitely clear. So to have it in a way, at least by his standards, not pay off could be heartbreaking. But at the same time, it's like, this was when the game was really, really, really young into just now, where it's still very young. And also your character had a couple changes to him, and there's other characters that you might want to play that now might actually have a better chance of getting what you want out of the game. And Rosalina had some changes, actually, quality of life changes. Rosalina, with Luma, of course, behaving a little bit more consistently, which I think is what maybe some Rosalina players don't want because they want the desyncs. But for the most part, Rosalina's now more with you. She does get grabbed more often now because they kind of shorten the distance with Luma being in front of you. But maybe there's other things that maybe he hasn't found out yet or tested properly because, again, these rankings come out, but like EVO's this weekend. So whether or not he had time to lab, we don't know. But I'd say for right now, this is exceptional. Top 10 is definitely where you want to be. Top 5 is where you also want to be. But even then, you're at the table. Dabuz is like at the table, top 10, 7th, no shame. So for what it's worth, 25-25, his wins, you know, I think the MkLeo matchup is going to be a very hard one to figure out. I think it's going to be one that will require almost most of next season. We saw Mars, however, Smash Factor, make it look a little weird, okay? And make it look totally doable. So we don't know if Leo's starting to crack or if he's going to pick up, potentially look at Hero or just stay Joker and see what happens. So congrats to Dabuz. Ready for 5th place now?
Yep.
Cool. So Liquid Dabuz takes it for Tri-State and himself, Olimar players and all that. 5th, though, another Olimar player. We got Shuton, only Japanese player in the entire top 10. What do you think about that?
Yeah, going from one all over. Very impressive stuff. Shuton, I think, was a sleeper. A lot of people didn't really know what he was accomplishing or when. A lot of people just know he has the down air on the Pikmin, and that's kind of his claim to fame. But yeah, that was Shuton's season to a lot of people, just that. So if you look at the card, though, I think it kind of speaks for itself. Yeah.
Very interesting. If you compare Dabuz and Nairo and the other players in the top 10, their cards are almost completely filled, at least the USA events. Here we only had 2 domestic USA events, and then, 3 rather, Prime Saga being the 3rd. And then all the other ones were purely Japanese. Shuton, very, very crazy example where all of his losses and all of his wins were exceptionally high quality. He only had a total of 7 tournaments this season, which is kind of deceptive because people think that you need to compete more to get ranked higher. And as Mr. E shows us, someone who went to every domestic event and placed, lower in the mid-range, it's just not true. You also risk losing to a lot of hidden bosses. You risk a lot of sets because of whatever. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So it's not like we can just tell you, get first at EVO and then don't compete anywhere else. Everybody keeps on keeping on. But for Shuton, wherever he went, magic happened. 5th was no easy feat this season. I think in a season 2, though, this won't be enough to maybe get to the top 10, only because I think people are just going to be competing at a higher rate, and these summer tournaments are not ones you can miss. He even took out the battery pack. But X Factor of 0, look at that. X Factor 0, 17-9. Cosmos, Glutoni, Light, Nairo, Yuga, Schroeder, T again, and Zachary. You see a lot of the inter-Japan play there. And in almost every instance, poor T, he ate it with 4 sets. And even the other T, the Link main, 2 sets.
Yeah, that's a little surprising, let's say. But yeah, I of course haven't been close as for reasons that I've talked about on every other episode of the show. But yeah, I was a little surprised to see him get all the way. Totally makes sense. I agree with you that I think it's going to be a little bit tougher next season, no question, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Yeah,
I think that now that the stage is set, now that these PGR players are going to have not only that target on their back, but their names in the marquee, right? So many tournaments are going to clamor to be able to say Cosmos, to say, Zachary, to say Glutoni, right? Especially international talent. So, the big houses and the Frostbites are going to be packed with that talent. So it'll be even harder to snatch any wins from that, let alone not even show up because everybody else will be there. I think Shuton...
Do me a favor? Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Keep going. I think somebody might have unplugged my laptop. It says... So keep it rolling. I'll be right back.
So we're making it happen. Coney is definitely taking one for the team here. Broadcasting from a bathroom inside a hotel room. If this is your first time tuning in, this is PG Stats' roundtable for the PGRU. Top 10 was revealed today. It's me sipping water. And we just went over through the 10 through 5. Shuton was the 5th person on the entire rankings to make it that high. It was like top 5. But for everybody else that hasn't maybe followed up or read the FAQ written by the lovely Practical Task, or maybe doesn't understand how these placements got assembled the way they did, wins, outplacements, and all the weights of the different tiers are really what determine where these players end up. And for Shuton's case, if you look here, Coney's also back, his quality of wins were insane. Not even the ones that were listed here, but he was beating players like Shogun and Coney, the famous Shulk in Japan, people who didn't make it to top 50, but it was still rated within the algorithm. Even Geist he beat at Frostbite 2019, who I don't think is a Japanese player. He also beat Charlie the King at Prime Saga, and he beat Meru at Stunfest. Meru being the very famous European Peach that was also at Albion, I believe. He beat Glutoni twice, though, at Stunfest. So, takes the title of Best Olimar in the world. I know that Myron had that in his bio for a split second after the Ditto. Unfortunately, Dabuz can't claim that. The honor goes to this season, Shuton. And, even the Richter bit with the whole downer on the Pikmin, it kind of just brings a whole set of smiles to everybody who thinks it's Shuton. So, congrats to him. Sun Sister is his team. Shuton is his name. 0 X Factor. I think he is... Yeah, we only got 3... Yeah, okay, so there are only 3 remaining zeros and 6 total on the entire PGR that got that X Factor of 0, meaning the panel placed him exactly at 5th. For Shuton's case, comes as no surprise, and for anybody else following him next season, make sure you keep an eye out for that name, because even in Japan, he's a terror. And right there, he does have 2 sets to Byron, 1 to Tweek, and 1 to Void. So we'll see what happens. The nerfs for him, maybe it slows him down this weekend at Evo. For everybody else, they're just, his Pikmin's overwhelming. Shuton's too much. But yeah, 4th place, our favorite personality and Peach main extraordinaire, Samsora. Really happy about this one personally, as a near and dear friend. His Peach is too much, dude. It's disgusting.
Samsora is just kind of... It's funny, we talk about... we talk a lot about Dabuz's consistency and Mr. R's consistency. Has sort of taken up that mantle in this game. And I could be wrong about this, you have all the data in front of you, but I don't lose against people he's not slated to, people below his station. The one time that I can remember him doing it, he said he was doing it to get down to Myron to go into losers just to knock him out of the tournament. Now, I don't know if he actually did that. I don't know. But, yeah, Samsora is just, he's a consistent threat at every event. Always performing well. Like I said, doesn't really lose to anybody that's really outside of his circle. Has that one loss to MVD, if I'm not mistaken. That's not huge.
No.
So, yeah, just super, super impressive season for him.
Yeah, this is the part of the PGR2 that also gets a little tough to sort of... listen, for anyone that's watching, this is kind of what you need to be into top 10. And I read a lot of harebrained... I won't call it harebrained. I just read a lot of misinformed opinions about placements. I think someone said that...
You read a lot of this!
Yeah.
You read a lot of this!
I just saw people say that, oh, well, their lowest placement was X, so how come their ranking isn't above that? And it's I don't know how to explain math on on Twitter, but you got to understand, for people who aren't informed on bracketology, like, the ties start as soon as 5th place. When you get 5th place, 2 people got 5th place. When you get 7th place, 2 people tied. When you got 9th, you got 4 ties. When you got 13th and 17th, 25th, 33rd, 49th, 65th, etc. I know I've seen a lot of brackets. So those ties don't, that's not 65th like at the tournament. Like, they tied with other people. Like, there's a lot happening there. Samsora's card, yes, his lowest placement shown at a major's 13th, but everything else are high single digits. 3rd at Genesis, 4th at Momocon, 2nd at Smash and Splash, and the list goes on. This is the sort of stuff you need to even be in contention, in the running for top 10. The more double digits you have, of course, it makes it a little harder, depending on where your bracket would have ended. If you got 13th and you lost to Leo and Tweek, that's a bummer, that's a heartbreaker, and that's accounted for. But at the same time, like, now we're looking at people that are only top 8ing, if anything, only top 4ing. And even then, as you'll see with some of the cards that are left, the last 3 that are left, since Samsora's number 4, some people even just like had double digits as well, but their best placements are just that insane, that important. Samsora showed us that this entire season. He was Mr. Consistency, and I think he would win that award for the season because he was doing it all season with Peach. He was doing it against every character. He didn't ever switch, aside from Daisy, anything that I really saw. I know that Captain Zack has had a Peach, has had a Wii Fit, obviously supplementing his Bayonetta, but Sam just stayed straight Peach, dude. I never saw a switch, or even like him thinking about another character. Have you, Coney? I've only ever seen Peach talk.
No, it's only Peach. And it's impressive, too, because if you think about it, I think he's the only player, he's the highest ranked player so far on this PGR that has convinced everybody that his character is the best in the game. Because if you think about it, like, we have 3 more people above us, but everybody has said, you know, okay, these characters are good, but they have flaws. Mm-hmm. That never really happened with Samsora. For our number 1, people are coming around to the idea, but it's not totally, you know, sticking. But yeah, everybody was convinced that Peach was the best character in the game. It's just because nobody could take a set off this guy. Like I said, as we get closer and closer to number 1, I think there's less and less to say just in terms of really disputing where these people land, because, like, I don't know if there's any dispute that Samsora was top 5. He absolutely earned it. Good stuff on 4th place. Can't wait to see how he does next season. I think in terms of, like, the top 5 players, he is one of the safest, you could say, to stay in that top 5.
Oh yeah,
I think Leo, of course, he's going to stay in top 5, no question. But Tweek, he's amazing, but he is known for, you know,
high variance,
struggling a little. Yeah, very high variance.
He's hocus pocus, dude. The player, like, sometimes it's just a thwack, dude, in bracket. Other times it's kamikaze, like.
Yeah, Mars is very much like a sharp, white hot flame. It's like he's either going to tear through everybody or
burn out, right? You see right here, the 1 and 5 to MkLeo. That's set, obviously, with Leo being extremely valuable, considering the fact that Leo, surprise, surprise, super good. But, you know, Samsora has gone on record saying that, like Joker, he has so much trouble solving it. And, you know, maybe he inches closer. Maybe this weekend he shows us something else. Maybe next season, again, something has happened where he's unlocked the potential. But that assumes that MkLeo stays static, which has never been the case. But for everybody else, it looks like these sets were ones that definitely they clenched away from him. Light, MVD, Myron, Nairo, Puppet, Tweek, and Wishes all sneaking away with 1 win. I'd be interested to see how they would fare if they faced off again. And I think since the PGR, with like everything ending July 7th, maybe they faced again. I don't remember, if someone in chat wants to remind me, but maybe Sam got the run back, maybe not. He did win defend in North, but I don't know how many of these players were there. I know Tweek definitely wasn't. Light was, but I don't know if they faced off. And I know Wishes was, but I don't know what they faced off. So congrats to Sam. I mean, I don't know what else to say. United, pretty much the best glow up I saw all season. I mean, he's treated well. He's doing well. Social media is popping off. He debuted Hero. Dittos with Nairo the night of. So congrats to Sam, 4th place, shooting higher, top 5 in the world, baby. And then Marzaruni. Well, what'd you say?
I said super impressive stuff. Well done, Mars. 3rd. Now this was, I think,
Dude, people were saying second last week. I was like, what are you guys doing?
I mean, I was wondering, because here's the thing: is that his acceleration has been slow, but his top speed, he's on the like Donkey Kong in Mario Kart. You know, like he's just like, it took him a while, but now that he's there, he is there.
He just bodies people, dude, off the road.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought he'd be making it to second, myself included, specifically because of Tweek's poor placement at Smash and Splash, which apparently had a lot of pull. I remember Smash and Splash, like, for some players, it was like make or break. So I thought that Tweek would actually fall to number 3, but Mars at number 3, very much well-deserved. I think it could have been, I mean, you have more visibility in terms of, like, how close it was or the numbers. I mean, you could tell me the numbers since I can't see it in front of me right now. But I'm a little curious about how close Mars and Tweek were. I know they're very good friends, so I'm sure that they would have been fine either way. But, you know, very good stuff to Mars.
Yeah.
I can actually go grab him. He's in the other room right now.
If Mars has a word for the stream, you could do that while I butter it up with numbers. I'll switch cams.
I feel like he's probably taking pictures and stuff, so he probably doesn't have it.
Mars bows to no one at the same time. So, he tremendous force this season. Mars definitely for New England put himself on the map once again, and pretty much as like a capital city, so to speak. Like Mars at the very beginning, I think 25th, fell in line with the biases people started forming because Nairo dropped Zero Suit. People weren't hearing so much about Choco, although he was, at the time, doing rather well with Zero Suit in Japan, or starting to. He's been a threat there, but he hasn't traveled out. He hasn't won any of the big Imaburas. But by and large, I think 25th at Genesis was like, okay, ZSS is dead. All the blondies are dead. Sheik is dead, Rose is dead, ZSS is dead. What's next, right? Then Frostbite came around. Finally, Momocon and Smash and Splash was a different Mars. You can see the shift. Right, you can see the shift, the double digits at Genesis and Frostbite earlier part of the season. The card is organized chronologically. Genesis starting the first S tier, Smash and Splash being the last S tier, Omabora SB3 the first A tier. I'll be on 4 the last. But look at the shift. Double digits, Genesis and Frostbite, then single digits the rest of the season. Same thing with Prime Saga. Third at Pound, second at Gommel, and second at CEO. He almost got that CEO bit.
What? What? Go ask them. I'm doing a
So anyways, this amazing reveal to 3,500 people from a bathroom. Mars is insanity. Mars started slow and he just powered through. His clips are the hypest. His hype is of the highest caliber within all the top 10, in my opinion. Of course, Leo is just broken and playing with cheat codes, but Mars is just self-destructive. Gives me a lot of Mango vibes. A lot of people have made the comparison before. Recklessness, endangerment, pretty much every stock. But he does it, and he does it well. Also at Panda, so great stuff to him. He also, believe it or not, holds the record for most attended tournaments this season. Coney, can you guess what that number is? It's double digits.
Most attended?
Most attended out of the entire top 50, Mars holds the record. Do you know that number?
Let me think. If there's a season from December to...
From February to July, my guy.
February, July, so that's 2 to 7. Let's see. That's 4 weeks a month, so...
Wow, you're actually doing math here. I just wanted a number.
No, 5 times 4 is 20.
Oh my god.
Let's say 34.
15. Wow, so Mars went to third. No. Mars holds the record, believe it or not, chat, for most attended tournaments this season. 15 total. 15 with the C and the A and the B and the S all mixed in. You can find out in Smash Wiki if you don't believe me, or believe me because the data is right here in front of me. Collision all the way down to Genesis 6. All the tournaments he attended. X Factor 0, which is great. The panel was definitely on the same wavelength as everybody else in the community, always pretty much pitting him as top 3. I think the MkLeo Tweek debate of top 2 pretty much was a little bit of like a mid-season thing, but the last third of this arc was like Mars in the top 3, and Tweek was unfortunately kind of, I don't want to say like disqualified, but it wasn't looking like he was going to get first pretty quickly.
Right.
42 and 20, dude. Like, wow, that's
insane.
Like, you compare it to Shuton, who was way lower, but of course less attendance but higher quality. Mars is both of those. He's higher quality and higher volume, which, I mean, if you're talking about stats at that point, like, he's a shoo-in. Cosmos, Dabuz, Esam Light, like, the wins speak for themselves. A lot with Dabuz, actually, and I think it was backwards in Smash 4. Obviously, the two clashing so much in the Northeast, Dabuz usually got the better of him, but this season is looking a little different, and those two on Leo were insane. Tweek is the interesting one, because he lost 3 sets to him, which I think settled the debate for a lot of people, too, with a head-to-head.
Yeah, I remember. I think what's funny is that if you look at this sort of in terms of tiers, there's a very clear, and I think 2 and 3 are pretty, they're both very strong, but I think, like, there's definitely a pyramid going on. And I think that Mars
Not
is
a pyramid scheme, just a pyramid.
Just a pyramid. And I think Mars is doing, he has scaled it at a level and a speed that we have not seen from pretty much anybody else.
With Zero Suit.
I mean, with Zero Suit too, yeah. So good stuff to him, very impressive. Third is, I know he wanted higher. It is nuts considering how he started.
This floor, I gotta say, for Mars is just like the stuff of legends, mostly because, I mean, who would have said this in December? Mars would be top 3. Yeah. I don't think that it's gonna necessarily change next season. We already saw Smash Factor, which, I mean, I don't even know what to do about that. Mars is starting season 2 with 2 wins on MkLeo. 2 wins on MkLeo belong to Mars right now. I don't understand. But the ZSS sucks. I don't know if that train's going to continue, dude, because, like, it's looking pretty nice for him. He has mixed in Falcon. He has mixed in Mega Man. He tried it with Leo at CEO, but unfortunately Falcon couldn't clutch it. But for Mars's case, I mean, Zero Suit's on the map. I don't think she's going to go anytime soon. I think for a lot of people, they're still applying a lot of Smash 4 fundamentals, which aren't giving them any sort of results. But whatever Mars is doing, man, like, I want some of that because, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, congrats to him. That's going to be New England and Panda Global at 3rd. Mars, of course, no stranger to the top, and now sitting right behind 1 and 2. I mean, really looking forward to his Evo run. A lot of pressure, but Mars rarely buckles to it, rarely cracks.
Yeah.
Second, though, none other than Tweek. He had the Smash music as his main theme. For anyone that doesn't know, Tweek is he's kind of hocus pocus about his characters as well. Like, we see a young Link, we see a Wolf, we see a Wario. I think Wario really, really shapes at the beginning of his season, and a lot of people are having a hard time. Like, wait, Wario? Well, what are you talking about? And Tweek did that, dude. He slapped everybody with Wario. Very strong beginning of the season, winning Frostbite, of course. Brought the debate back because of Smash 4. Him and Leo ended as 1 and 2. Then in Ultimate, all eyes were on them. Of course, TSM as the team really helps as well with the notoriety. First at Frostbite set the tone. Second at Momocon continued it. Smash and Splashes where things went wrong. But Prime Saga and Get On My Level were definitely the highlights. That's hard, what you attribute it to at Smash and Splash. For Tweek's case at Smash and Splash, you remember what happened, like, outside of the tournament? Because he ended up losing to Wizrobe and the Great Gonzalez, which is like, dude, oh my god.
Yeah, that's not good. And I think it would have hurt him a lot more, other people didn't have, like, it felt like 33rd at Umabura, Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, it happened to everybody.
Yeah, that was his blemish. It just really bit that was the blemish. That also was the second highest rated of the entire season. Smash and Splash being second to Genesis 6 as far as the S tiers go. Smash and Splash also running the very, I don't know how to put it, but they ran round robin, Swiss. And to the dismay of many, a lot of sets played, but obviously a lot of endurance, a lot of stamina. I can't imagine how that water park venue felt like with all the pressure, all the heat of the competition. 33rd, though, with Wizrobe, I don't know what to say about that. Like, Wizrobe, phenomenal player on one hand, but then on the other hand, like in the way of Tweek's bracket progression, that's a rough truth, you know. And I think that happened first season. I don't think it'll happen second season, because I think by and large, okay, going on the record here, I think by and large the Melee heads had their time with Ultimate, save for a couple, right, that are still committed and still trying to figure out parts of the game, trying to stay fresh on the times. Maybe pick up a DLC hero that comes here and there. But for Wizrobe's case, dude, he's such an enigma, and I'm not surprised he ended his run there.
Yeah, I think that would have been it. Wizrobe. I mean, I'll never forget Wizrobe beating Tweek, and then his next opponent was a Mii Brawler. Like, that's some like tragic comedy thing. Like, that's just like, really, you beat the potential #1 player in the world, and you're a 1-1-1-1 brawler. So it's like, it was super funny. But yeah, so
20 and 10.
I thought that would hurt him a lot more than it did. I'm glad to see him at second. Him, Mars, Light were my favorite players in Smash 4, and then one more. They were my favorite players in Smash 4, and to see them all top 10 is just like, oh my god, it's so good to see. So I only hope he continues to progress. The only problem with Tweek is that he wants he's wanted it for years and years, and it's not this season. And now Mars is up 2-0 on Leo, so I hope he doesn't get squeezed out of that top 3 talk. I want to see him at #1 at some point, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe not his time, obviously, this season. Yeah. But I also, for Tweek to have been so ambitious, though, this season, I think that really underscores just... I mean, I'm not going to fluff it, dude. Like, the guy was changing characters faster than, I mean, most people, like, change their sheets, man. Like, it was crazy how often Tweek was hitting us with a new character. He also had Trainer, right? In the pre-release / post season 1, he has a Trainer running in. How's Evo going to look? Is it going to be filled with Trainer? Is the Wario always going to be on deck? I mean, Counterpick Master, he showed us by the end of Smash 4 that's what you needed by the time he had his just devastating Bayonetta, and shares the most similarities with Leo when it comes to character pool. Whereas Mars has just hit this like very refined dagger of just like zero suit, exactness, deadly. Tweek is like he's like a pocket, Swiss Army knife. Like, he's got something for everything, but if you choose the wrong thing, that might get you. So now this season 2, if we see a consistency in character or even more chaoticism that can like potentially have people on their toes, caught off guard, he can pull the lead over Mars, maybe pull the lead over MkLeo. But regardless, for a second season to be so publicly and so front and center, changing characters and getting upset by new up and comers, like, I think that's not what we're going to see of Tweek second season. And second for the first season is, I mean, it's amazing. And more, obviously he wants more, but dude, second at that point, like, it's Leo. So
it's a strong start for him. Yeah.
Thing to note, the Mortals, as we'll refer to them jokingly, Tweek's overall score is 95.2. Leo's is 100. We'll see at the end after Leo's reveal who, spoiler, made first this season. He is 100, so almost a 5-point jump, and we do not have many jumps in this overall score. That's the first one, right? So from him, then to Mars, then from Mars down to Samsora, then to Shuton, and so on and so forth. This is now Leo sitting at the top, the king of Smash Ultimate right now, currently, dude.
Yeah, I don't really know what you can say about this. It's kind of interesting to have had a player in the last game that just kind of won everything, and he's undisputed #1, and now we're seeing the same thing. I don't know if it's the fate of all the games that kind of, I remember it being more ambiguous in the past, at least in Melee, like who's going to be #1 this season, but there was never any doubt. I don't really know what to tell you. He's the
guy.
He's the guy. Yeah, he's the #1.
Yeah, Leo with a very, very funny start with Smash Factor, obliterating Mr. R with Meta Knight. People, that was the shuttle loop heard around the world. And for the longest time, people like discredited the hell out of Mr. R, poor guy.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, play him, seriously. And then here we are, first in the world, Echo Fox, MG, MkLeo, the whole bit. All the single digits here, all the ones, dude. All the ones are insane. The Umabura Japan major, the story there is almost so tragic because, like, I guess that's the Smash and Splash 33rd for Leo. At Umabura Japan major, TKM and Umeki, dude. He ran into a Daisy in that case. TKM, I'm not sure who he plays. But that was like an unranked loss, someone from Japan that just did that. The only other person his quote-unquote worst loss was JW, the Canadian Greninja player at Pound. Everybody else solid. He's only lost to Samsora, Mars, Tweek twice, Mr. R, Light, Salem, Mars, and Esam. That was it. His reveal is pretty cool for people who didn't catch it. It's kind of like a two-parter. Leo also showing us the importance of counterpicking. He started with Ike, which to me was like the most unremarkable of his characters. And I mean, I bet you commented a couple of his sets, but what do you think he was trying to do with Ike? Just like learn the game?
Yeah, I think Ike was sort of
the Palutena for him.
Right. It was the same. That was exactly what I was. We thought, okay, this is a Band-Aid. And Nairo never really switched, but I thought Leo was like, okay, what's a simple, effective character that I can sort of learn the game, but I don't need to, you don't really need to put in an insane amount of time. It's not extremely complicated. I think he was a super good starter character, and then he just kind of moved on from there. Lucina also kind of fits that bill. Mm-hmm. Pretty fundamental, pretty simple, very similar to Marth too.
And he had a Lucina already, which is just cheating at this point.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm not too surprised by that. And then Joker.
Yeah, so that's the story of Leo up to that point. The Joker switch, which we'll see in the review in a second, definitely set a much darker tone for everybody else. Key rivalries here, Coney, though, that definitely shaped up. People that have bones to pick with him, Dabuz, who he has 3 sets on, Mars, who he has 4, Myron, who he also has 3, 2 on Nairo, which, you know, starts the fuel to the whole Bracket Demon bit, and then 5 on Samsora, dude. Oh man, that one win that he must have gotten over him must have felt amazing.
I mean, he is the wall. He's the guy that you have to run into.
Yeah, and then the only people with like positive sets on him are like Isam, Mr. R, and Salem on this PGR. The JW obviously and whatever. But yeah, MkLeo, I mean, you can't really say much, dude. You know, humble guy, doesn't break, doesn't sweat. Very funny, cheeky, and also still insanely young. And, you know, Joker now is like potentially what is really going to define his season 2. I doubt he has any interest in Hero. His Joker just looked oppressive and disgusting at every point that he took it out. And I thought for a second it was a phase. I thought like, oh, he'll play Joker for a little bit, but no, it seems like it's just all Joker. All Joker, all the time.
With it. He's sticking with it all the way, and like, you can never guess that stuff. I was really doubted Joker after, you know, playing against him for a little bit. I was like, okay, this isn't, not really feeling it. But I didn't do it for an extremely long time. And then sort of the pieces all come together and you're like, oh, no, this character is a problem.
It's for real. Yeah.
And it's really interesting because a lot of other people said that they were going to try him or pick him up.
Day 1 Joker mains, where are you?
Well, there was a lot of even top players flirting with it. They're like, oh, I'm going to play Joker. I'm going to do this. Nobody has done it. Leo is the only person he's the only Joker on the PGR.
Only one that even like has anywhere near the results. Maybe someone took like a game in pools as Joker, right? Like maybe Mars took him out.
I'm not talking secondaries. I'm not talking like
nothing, dude.
Sets that you can beat somebody anyway. He's only Joker, and he's the only guy doing it. And I think it speaks to the Ultimate's character diversity and its viability that like so many characters are represented, and to have Joker at the top, I think bodes very well for the sake of the game. I could definitely see Leo keeping first, honestly, until next season. He's just so good.
Yeah, Wishes, I think, I just got the reminder from chat, the only other Joker-esque player But even then, as a secondary, as a main, though, we don't see it. But look at this top 10. Joker, Wario, ZSS, Peach, Olimar, Snake. Olimar being the only repeated character. And then Palutena, Pichu, and Fox. Did not look that way Season 1 of the PGR in Smash 4. There was a lot of Diddy, a lot of this, a lot of that. A lot of Sheik, right? So very, very, I think this is probably the healthiest snapshot of what we're seeing. The top 10 in the world, MkLeo down to light. And then the scores is what I wanted to bring attention to. The top 10 starts with a B+, dude. With an 87.8. Jumps a little bit to Void. Then it jumps to Nairo 1 more point. Then we see a little bit to Dabuz. Then if you just look at the top 3, 195.2 and then 92.5. Mars is an A- to MkLeo's 100%. So, wow. There you have it. Mostly USA, not Japan. Mexico in first. I honestly thought when I said that Japan's going to surprise you, it was really that like they aren't as dominant as we would have thought. They have come here, right? A lot are at Evo. Many Japanese players are at Evo. I already saw a bunch of them last night playing at like the pre-Evo tournament, and I saw Zaki, the day-to-day player. I saw, I think Gact, the Nest player, was there too. Like they're gonna pop off. But yeah, there you have it. The whole top 10. Coney, it's been a crazy ride. The credits are rolling now. Any final words you want to give on this season, dude?
One thing that I think is kind of interesting. So way back in the day, back in the Brawl Day, near the end of Brawl, everybody started hearing about a 14-year-old kid that was so good, and he's from Chile, and he was going to come over here and beat everybody with Metadite. And he came over here and he did okay. He was good, and like he wouldn't beat everybody. And then he became Zero, and he dominated the game. Then in the middle of that game, we heard about this 14-year-old kid from Mexico. Okay, he's going to dominate everybody. He's going to come over and beat everybody. And he came over and he did okay. He got a lot of top 8s, but he didn't win everything. And then he started winning everything. I want to know who's going to be that person for, because it's going to happen. We've seen glimpses of it. I think everybody's trying to call it. People have tried to call Zachary. People have tried to call Spargo. Even Bocce. Like, people are trying to attribute that, but I think it's going to come, and it's going to be indisputable when it happens. It's going to happen at some point during this game. Somebody's just going to be that super young prodigy that takes over the world. And I'm super excited to see it in Ultimate. But I think this is an incredible start for the game. I'm very excited. I think this top 10 bodes very well for the rest of the game. I think it's going to be great.
It's almost like, it's an anime reference as usual. Like Dragon Ball. I mean, it just reminds me of like the one person who's like, there's no one that could be better. And then the next arc, there's this person who makes that other person look like nothing. And then it keeps going and going and going. Like it's crazy. Zero was the guy, the dude, 50 plus tournament streak, yada, yada, yada. Then Leo, the guy, the dude, like just smoking everybody at the end of Smash 4. It was not even close. Tweek was trying and CEO didn't work out. And then this game, like, he just had that, like, winning Genesis set the tone. I think if he didn't get first at Genesis, people would start to doubt, maybe, whoa, like, what about this player or that player? But no, Leo just sat there collecting the first place trophies, putting it on his mantle, and now he's got first place in the whole world. Will it be a curse this weekend? I don't know. Anything that usually happens, it's our fault anyways, whether or not it's our fault. So if Leo wins, prophecy. If Leo loses, PGR, outdated. Leo, I don't know how Twitch chat just amazes me. I think I saw share this Lizzie for good luck to Wizzy during the invitation.
Yeah. The lizard, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, MkLeo, dude, he's got his work cut out from this weekend. I don't know who is missing from this tournament. Evo is boasting, 3K plus, 3.4?
Something like that, yeah.
That's going to be a lot for Joker to wade through. So best luck to Leo. Best luck to everybody else on the top 50.
All 2 out of 3 also. Losers, winners, and grands. So
Xanadu. Okay.
Yep.
And the Xanadu.
Yep. All best of 3.
Oh
So
boy. That's gonna be. I almost prefer Swiss pools at that point.
Yep.
All right, so Coney, do you have a time for a couple questions? It's the last one. You're in a bathroom. We have to take like 3.
We'll do a couple. I can do a couple. I don't have too much time.
Okay. So the PGR Roundtable, PGRU, PG Stats, PG, all that is now coming to its very bittersweet end. It's been now almost 8 hours of recorded content. This is our runtime is an hour and 12 minutes. So in the chat, go ahead and tag us with your last burning question. We'll have a little bit of time to hopefully answer it. If it's a little too specific, we might skip over it in the interest of time, but just tag us. Right here, we have a couple already pouring in. Okay, so CK Wolf, this might be a spicy one, I don't know, it might fall flat. They say, Panda Global, at the beginning of Ultimate, a lot of people, Paradin for one, Paradin, big Nairo, Naifu Lieutenant, says complaining that it's boring to watch the same characters always make it to the top. I guess in this case, referencing Olimar, Wolves, Palutenas. While they are definitely top tier characters, I don't feel at all that it's too repetitive. How do you feel? Are there too many of a single character repeatedly making top 8? What do you think? Thanks. Coney, the commentator, what do you see? You see the same matchup over and over and over and over?
No, I am in heaven. I've been very candid, at least at the playing level. I could commentate it forever because I can commentate anything. You just put something in front of me and I'll talk about it. It's fine. But I did not enjoy playing Smash 4 because it felt very kind of rote. But when I play... Hello?
You're good.
I didn't, it's a laptop. I don't...
Oh, is someone... Are you...
Somebody's being very funny. Alright, anyway. So I didn't even see who it was.
Tell everybody to come into the bathroom. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, that's 2 people. That's 2 people. So no, I feel like a lot of people, just. I did not like Smash 4. Ultimate, I'm in heaven. Both from a watching and a playing perspective. I think the diversity of characters, and I think ability of characters to sort of express themselves is on a different level than Smash 4. Like if you it's difficult to sort of say, but I think in Smash 4, if you look at a top tier, I don't know, if you look at a top tier Sheik player, I guess that's not the best example because you could definitely tell a difference. Void, but I think it was only at the very top level. I think in Ultimate, there's a very clear difference in playstyle between Shuton and between Myron and between Dabuz, and all 3 of those guys are in the top 15. And I think that's an incredibly... I think that's a great thing to see.
Okay.
As much as I like Paradin, and I don't want to... I think Paradin is attached to Nairo, and I think Nairo was 8th. He wasn't performing at the level of old Smash 4 Nairo, second of all time. So I think, yes?
So maybe your favorite team not doing well, etc.
Yeah. No, okay, get out of here. What? Get out. Okay.
Can you lock the door? Like, you are in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I'm in a bathroom. I can lock the door.
So your favorite team maybe not performing well won't get you to tune into the Super Bowl. That's what Coney's kind of saying about Paradin and Nairo. Nairo having, of course, a lot of initial upstart issues since he was going through Palutena. He's going this, that, and the other. Palutena, not the hypest character. Just, I mean, it's the kit, right? Palutena is more about zone control, spacing, explosive flame, ba-da-da. It's not Fox, in your face, upper shades, drag down, whatever. So I'd agree with you. I mean, the results graphics have been amazing. Even this PGR has been amazing. Just looking down the list right now, I don't see many repeats. We did have 2 Greninjas back-to-back, but everybody loves to see a drag down up air combo. Pichu's here and there, and Pichu's kind of, I don't know, Pichu's Pichu. A lot of sorties, but not so much. Absolutely no Clouds, which is crazy. Yeah. Absolutely no Sheiks, which is crazy. Only Rosalina belonging to Dabuz. And I think no Diddy Kongs unless we count Shoyos. Yes, no Diddy Kongs. So yeah, I think it's in a good place. Next question. What would make Power Hungry, PRW, okay, no vowels, we're cool. Power Hungry says, Panda Global, what would make for a better headline? Nairo wins Evo or Mars wins Evo?
Better headline? Depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I'd say Mars, one of my favorite players. If you ask Parrot, obviously with Nairo, you have the whole redemption story of him, you know, getting back to the top and winning an Evo. If you have Mars, then you have the whole point of like, okay, well, he just beat Leo twice. He's had this crazy run in the past 3 to 6 months, where he's just totally enveloped, you know, so many different players. It depends on who you like. I mean, I like I said, I'm not more of a fan of Mars as a person because I like them both. So I would say that personally.
Personally, the better headline would be Mars, just considering the fact that he just got third worldwide, and he just beat Leo 2-0, or just took 2 sets off him. Obviously, they were wacky and close and whatever. But I think that'd make the better headline. Also, it's a character that's not in rotation. It's only the only CSS to do it. Nairo, I think, would be hyped for the Naifu Nation, but that's what we think. Breathe Chew asks, what are your guys' thoughts on Hero? I don't think he's an issue. I'll say that point blank.
No, I got a chance to play him today, and
it's a lot at first, okay? It is a lot at first. Like, for, you know, we're used to our characters, and then Bayonetta kind of broke that ceiling. We're used to our characters moving and doing and existing in a certain plane, right, in the game. And then Hero just came about and was like, what's up, guys? Here's a snooze. Here's a magic blast, explosion, whatever it was. Did you see how he could turn giant and then also stack the explosion, and he can affect the entire map of that one stage?
I saw it. Here's a weird thing, because I feel like I don't feel like I'm playing Smash anymore. I feel like I'm playing your game, and Bayonetta was one of them. Even new characters like Rosalina or Villager were some of them. And maybe it's because I sucked at the game, I don't know. But Hero has started to feel like that for me, because it's like, and I haven't fought him, just to be clear, I haven't fought him with any character I'm good with. I've only played him in Hero Dittos, just to get a feel for the character. And I think Hero's problem is that I don't see anybody who's already succeeding switching to that.
Oh, yeah. It's been 2 days.
Like, there's I can't fathom a reason to do it unless he's a secondary and you were losing anyway. I could see, like, Nairo being 0-2 on Leo and saying, alright, screw it, let me try this. And if he's good enough, maybe some cool stuff will happen. But I don't see anybody I also think he's a character that requires a lot of situational awareness. And because of that, he's not going to be a character that you can just kind of do that and succeed really well with. So I don't see him doing great, honestly, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
I agree. I mean, I said it first out, like, I don't think he's an issue. Okay, an issue to me from a character stems from high power and ease of use. Bayonetta, for the most part, was both she was both of that. So I think for a lot of people that's what made it problematic. Like Jimmy from Arkansas beating the #1 on the PR at that state after picking up Bayo, that doesn't bode well for a character in terms of popularity. Also, Witch Time was a thing. A lot of things were just like quote unquote a thing, and you had to deal with it. In Hero's case, the fact that his down B also, or Hocus Pocus, the spell that a lot of people are talking about, can also kill you. I think that's what Sakurai kind of added as like a kill switch to the character. Like, okay, his hitboxes can be wild. This can be wild. His normals are more or less, his normals more or less fall in line with a regular character. I think if he didn't have Hocus Pocus and most of his magical abilities, and it was stuck to just 4 of them, which is what I would have wanted if I wanted to play him, because I don't like opening up the menu and it being 4 different things every time, personally. It's just kind of like a dice roll. And yes, some top 50 player or top 10 player might get thwacked on stream and it'll be hype. But it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, it's not going to be necessarily a thing where you can't down B your way to the PGR. Like, I was talking what'd you say?
I was just going to say, I think in a 2-stock game...
Oh, man, that would have been nopping, yeah.
In a 2-stock game, he would be a lot scarier. In 3...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is, like... the usefulness of the menu, like what I was doing with Hero when I was playing around with him and a friend, was I would just get into a confirm situation, like falling up air into something or a tech chase, and I would just down B to the first option on reaction to see what it was. And then sometimes you turn metal. So it's like I think Hero will be the next like definitive. I saw you tweet about it. Like Hero is what happens when you are at a party and Smash is there at 3 in the morning. Like, hey guys, let's all do Game & Watch roulette, where you put 10% stamina and everybody uses judgment and the last person standing. Remember we did that before Pound? Like, that's what he is. So I don't think he's much of a problem. He's not a meta buster. His speed is okay. His everything else is very okay. Very, like, you know, alright. But I think being legal at SmashCon is a little shorter than the typical 2 weeks that most of the FGC allows, but I don't know. Like, I don't think he'll be shutting down someone who didn't deserve it, which is such a really ugly hot take. But
no, I hear what you're saying, and I think
we've seen it all, dude. I think at this point we've seen it all.
If I was competing in SmashCon, I would be a little... My eyebrows would be...
Yeah.
Against this. As a commentator, I am so excited. He is a godsend for us. Seriously, he is just like commentating Hero games will be just it's candy. It's a treat. It's incredible.
That is gonna be funny. I mean, he's gonna snooze like, dude. If Mars gets snoozed, if Lights get snoozed, if there's like some magic blast, some kamikaze, dude, it's gonna be. But again, that's not what wins games. Like games are not won by those sorts of chances, you know, like stocks are taken, sure, but at some point it's like, dude, Olimar is just gonna like, okay, well, while you're doing that, all right, I'm over here getting my Pikmin, or like anybody else, like, yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to the next question. We'll take 2 more. Oh, this is a nice one. We kind of talked about it before, but now that the whole gang's out, A Supernova 369 says, Panda Global, which 3 characters do you want on the next PGR? Interesting.
3?
Yeah, I think I'll say Ices just to be keeping in with the times.
Yeah, but you can't.
I could do whatever I want. No, I can.
I'm not somebody that can say like I want.
Well, let's see.
Like,
we didn't get a Ryu or a Ken. I think Ken would be nice, Cloud would be nice, and Ices would be nice. It's not that deep, Coney. It's just 3 characters. Pick them out of my hat.
3 characters I want to see?
Yeah.
I would like to see an Ices pop off. I would like to see... I would like Luigi to get his...
Oh, God.
I do not want that character to succeed. You don't either. Trust me.
Wait, who do I not want to succeed? You cut out. You're in the bathroom.
You do not want Luigi to succeed as a character. No, you do not want that.
But you just named him. You said you wanted to see him on the PGR.
I said I do not want to see him on the PGR.
Well, we're talking about who you want to.
Incineroar, Ices, Banjo. There. There.
Dude, the Banjo music would be so hype. Dude, I hope a Banjo makes at least in the 40s. That would be so hype.
That's what I'm saying. I really hope so.
That would be hype. I will change my answer from Ken because that's... I'll change my answer from Ken to Banjo. Banjo from not America. That would be cool. A Banjo from not America.
Why not an American Banjo?
Because, I don't know, I'm tired of seeing the 50 stars and the 13 stripes all over this thing.
Okay.
Anyways, last question, because we're going to part now. Coney's been locked inside a bathroom with the bleakest of backgrounds. It's not even a green screen. Maybe you could have chroma keyed it. Could you have been chroma keyed?
Imagine, like the whole time I was actually in my house.
Oh my god. So, let's see. What's a good last question, bro?
I'll leave it to you.
I'm not seeing a Banjo from Africa. Africa's not a country, so please stop. I didn't see any questions.
Okay.
All right. Well, here I'm gonna end it on a sweeter note. Highlighting the credits for a moment as we close out and Coney starts leaving. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. The roundtable's been really fun, even though it's just been Smashcenter 5 times. But I want to highlight the writers. Mayday, Dom, Popey did an amazing job this season. Any typo that happened was my fault as editor of all 50 articles. Practical Task being the algorithm himself. Amazing job really testing and seeing how far we can push this 80-plus tournament season. Cud, who of course edited and made all these fantastic videos, got the VODs, got the assets. I mean, after doing this, I don't know what he can't do. Keith and Josh, of course, helping as well as supports. Keith is just everyone's champion. And
I'm
Josh,
on Keith's laptop right now.
Keith, literally on Keith's laptop. And again, Alan Benet, Samurai Pandas, you know him, the CEO, co-founder of Panda Global, great advisor for the entire project, has been since the first one. And of course, Stuart98 and Coney, yourself. Stuart helping with a lot of fact-checking and VOD gathering, and Coney being the premier guest on the roundtable. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Of course, thank you guys for tuning in.
But yeah, there you have it. That's, man, I'm gonna miss you next week, not doing the roundtable. But we'll see you next week after Evo.
Yep.
Since who knows what is about to happen in the next 72 hours. Coney, I wish you the best. You're gonna have an amazing time. Shout outs to everybody that's there. And yeah, any final words before we sign off for the night?
No, thank you guys for tuning in.
Your mic exactly went off while you said tuning in.
Wait, really? Am I back?
You're back. Try again.
Okay, sorry. I think it's
you're in a bathroom. Give us what you got.
Definitely watch Evo this weekend. I think it's going to be insane. All the way until finals. A lot of dreams are going to be shattered, and a lot of heroes are going to be made. So definitely tune in. Top 8 is Sunday at 7 p.m. West Coast time, which means 10 p.m. East Coast, I think. Might change around a little bit depending on schedules. But anyway, would definitely recommend tuning in. Suar, thank you for hosting these, of course. I'll see you on Tuesday. I'll be back. We can talk about all this craziness that's about to transpire. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this. Sorry about the bathroom. I'm going to go back to the PG media room and
You're a champion. You're a champion, Coney. You did it from the bathroom, dude. Not many people would. But
I did my best.
In any case, you can find Coney on Twitter at ConeyZZ. Coney, thank you. We'll see you next week. Have fun at Evo, and we'll close you out. So thanks for your services, man.
Take care, dude. See you.
As for everybody else, as for me, wow, it's finally over. It's just now begun again, but for a different season. Thanks to everybody who's been patient, who's tuned in, who's made fun of, who's joined in, who's popped out for their favorite players. You're the reason why we do this. This is why we strive to be the best we possibly can be. I'll admit, first, like front and center, it was just really hard to do this time. The whole thing, just in general, it was a really hard season. I think a lot of us can agree that it was anything but normal. 3 patches, 2 characters, Piranha Plant, LOL, and a lot of insane tournaments and results to really sift through. I am proud of the team. I'm proud of the community for being as vibrant as it is. This is a very well-received PGR. All the criticism that has been volleyed at us, we've taken a look at, and we're going to implement for next season. I know that international concerns are always going to be a topic, and we're trying our best to make sure it's as inclusive as possible. The international multiplier making its return. Tournaments outside the continental United States receiving a 25% buff to kind of keep in line with all the competitioning happening in the United States. Sadly, though, without a Genesis or an Evo or things like that happening worldwide, it's really hard to sort of get the data that we need to really make sure everyone's included. So for now, we're making the best of what we have. Japan had its first S tier in the history of the entire PGR, lore. So be happy for them. Albion 4 was also insane. That was an A tier in Europe and London specifically. And next season has no signs of slowing down already, showing no signs. We have Evo this weekend, SmashCon the next, and then we're going to have an Umabura, not Umabura Japan Major, but another Umabura happening in Japan right after SmashCon. So after that is even Shine in August, and then we're going to wrap up August with, probably some smaller B tiers, C tiers around the world. In any case, keep it locked here. This is Smashcenter, brought to you by Suar. It's been a pleasure. If you still have any lingering questions or you're curious about how we did things and you've read the FAQ and you've tagged us in posts and you've been here every night on the roundtable and you've sent me written letters to my home address, which you got somehow from my voter registration, please DM me so I can answer those questions and hopefully get you set on the right path. For now, thank you, love you all. Tell someone you love them. Make sure you tune into Evo. Share the stream, share the memes, share the tweets. It's going to be a weekend we won't ever forget, hopefully for the right reasons. In any case, everyone have a nice night, and there's your PGRU top 50 Smash players in the entire world. Thank you. Catch it on YouTube, catch it on Red Bull. Shoutouts for them working in conjunction with us. Shoutouts to everybody that was in the project. You saw them in the credits. Shoutouts to you, Twitch chat, for being on here, not on Mixer, since that was the drama of today. But anyways, have fun. Go do something. Go outside. I'm gonna finally go get a massage. I'll see you.